This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Ogidi 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening, welcome to News Around the World on the most listened to radio station, Ogidi 88.7 FM Ibadan. I am Falola Yusuf. The headlines: Federal government calls for stronger media literacy to combat misinformation. Or your government firmer strengthen collaboration on road maintenance. United Kingdom investigates attacks on Jewish targets on possible links to Iran. United States seeks international help to reopen Strait of Hormuz as crude prices surge. Kobe Minor signs a new Manchester United deal until 2031. Now the details. The federal government has raised concerns about the growing threat of misinformation and disinformation, urging Nigerians to strengthen media literacy as a safeguard against the false narratives in the digital age. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, was ably represented by the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Press Council, Mr. Dili Yezuga, gave the warning today at the close of a two-day event marking the unveiling of the International Media and Information Literacy Institute at the National Open University of Nigeria in Abuja. Speaking at the event, Alhaji Idris said the ability to critically assess and verify information has become indispensable in a rapidly driven by artificial intelligence, stressing that media literacy is no longer optional. The minister further warned that the consequences of misinformation extend beyond theory, with real implications for governance, peace, and social cohesion. The Oyo State government has reaffirmed its commitment to working closely with the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to improve road infrastructure and ensure safer, motorable highways across the state. The Commissioner for Public Works and Transport, Architect Abdulmajid Mugwajibola, while receiving the delegation of FEMA, led by the Director, Southwest Zone 1, Engineer Babatunde Longe, at the Secretariat, Agodi Ibadan, said the Oyo State government's commitment to building durable, safe, and economically viable road structure. The Commissioner, who spoke through the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Prince Adenrele Adegoke Imran, explained that the present administration places a high premium on strategic partnerships, a proactive maintenance culture, and the adoption of modern engineering solutions to tackle road challenges across the state. According to architect Mugwajibola, the collaboration with FEMA will strengthen institutional capacity, promote effective resource utilization, and ensure timely and sustainable road maintenance practices, while highlighting the importance of data-driven planning, routine and periodic maintenance, as well as continuous engagement between federal and state stakeholders. Ashofi is an ancient art that has been preserved by the Yorubas over centuries. In the world of today, Ashofi culture now has a global presence, growing and gaining more acceptance. Akidiwe FM's correspondent Zainab Wahab takes a closer look. Here's the report.
The Yoruba culture is a beautiful one, with cultural fashion pieces like Asofi standing out as both a symbol of cultural identity and a vibrant source of income. Asofi weavers on the ancient Ofi loom have reduced over time, many of them now using industrial looms. However, there are some who stick to the ancient art despite losing their colleagues over the years to other handiworks.
When you got here, you would have noticed that I'm the only one still here. We used to be more than this, but because of little patronage, people have gone separate ways.
Asofi weaving is found in places like Ede in Osun State, Ilorin in Kwara State, and Okene in Kogi State. Despite its popularity among southwesterners of Nigeria, indigenous Yoruba people of Togo and the Republic of Benin also boast of the Asofi culture. Asofi tradition has proven to stand the test of time. It even appears to be getting more acceptance by members of other culture. The low purchasing power of people has resulted in them opting for Asofi, made from synthetic fibers instead of the locally made threads. In an interview with Ogidi FM's correspondent, Dr. Oguntomi Singh of the Institute of African Studies, University of Ibadan, asserts that this alternative does not compare to the originality and durability of the Asofi.
Someone have it, you can use 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, still there. The thickness is there. But I discovered that the new ones, that one is very light. But
Mrs. Bimpe James, a PhD student of social history at the University of Ibadan, explains that stylists now experiment with Asofi, making bags, shoes, and even combining it with other types of fabrics.
They might not wear it as complete, they may wear it as patches, as collar, as whatever on their attire, but it's all over the place. It has gone global. Even in the market, you see it in different sizes, different levels.
In the past, Asofi for the Yoruba tradition was a thing of pride. It remains so even in the present. It is important that Yoruba tradition is understood and carried with the respect it deserves from generations to generations. Zainab Wahab, Ogidi FM News.
Today, many Nigerians are venturing into handiwork as such as a side hustle, others as their main source of income. With a tools in hand and skill to match, many Nigerians are proving that learning a handiwork can start tall alongside education. But how do they choose of which trade to learn? How do they turn that skill into a business? And how do they attract customers to patronize them? In this report, Ogidi FM correspondent Rukayat Aziz takes a closer look at how people will learn handwork or start their own business and get customers. Here's the report.
In Nigeria, learning handwork remains a daily reality for millions and starting from zero. With the economy realities, some Nigerians cannot afford to wait for white-collar jobs, and not everyone has the money to fund big businesses. From roadside stalls to small kiosks, the need to survive and earn daily has made many people pick up trades like tailoring, barbing, hairdressing, and baking. A hairdresser in Ibadan explained how she developed interest in hairdressing at a young age before learning how to weave hair.
The work, I really like it from when I was small. So I like plaiting baby's hair. So I like it. So there is no parents. So I decided, when I finished my SSC, so I decided to go and learn the work. So my family also assisted me to go and learn the work. Yeah, to gather some money. After I gathered some money, so my family also assisted me again.
But do most people choose their trades out of passion or just because they need fast money? And how hard it is to turn a new skill into paying customers? The report engaged some residents of Ibadan who shared how they started their handwork and how they keep customers coming. A tailor in Ibadan noted that he developed interest in tailoring job from the tailor who helps him in sewing his school uniform in secondary school.
Normally so close for us then. I like the man, I just like the professions. Then I went to meet the man. That's the man that I want to learn this work. He taught me, and after graduating, I went to Port Harcourt, practiced the work a little bit, then I come back to Ibadan.
A resin artist in Ibadan said she started learning online and eventually built a brand.
I started with zero no capital, but I started with learning from online and eventually I built my brand. I get customers through networking. I I meet people on the road, tell them that, okay, I'm into this, I'm into that.
A furniture in the city of Ibadan said that he had to learn his handwork for 7 years, after which he opened his shop from the money he acquired from being a commercial motorcyclist.
After 5 years, I will start to work. I do this thing too. That time, that's why I get it. But for now, this thing is plenty for now.
From choosing a trade to starting small and also trying to attract customers, handwork owners show that skills plus hustle still pays. In Nigeria, learning a trade remains a part of income, independence, and service. For many, it is not just work, it is ownership. Rukayat Aziz, Ogidi FM News.
Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kunamza studio, Ogidi FM. United Kingdom, I am Falola Oluwasegun. NATO has confirmed that there is no provision for member states to be suspended or expelled from the military alliance after a report said the United States could seek to suspend Spain over its Iran war stance. A NATO official told journalists that the alliance-founded treaty does not foresee any provision for suspension of NATO membership or expulsion. US President Donald Trump has repeatedly criticized NATO allies for their reluctance to play a greater role after the US and Israel attacked Iran on 28th of February, and Iran subsequently restricted shipping through the key Strait of Hormuz. Although Spain leader has dismissed the reports, Pedro Sanchez, the Spanish Prime Minister, said Spain will always operate within the framework of international law. US has 2 military bases in Spain, but Spain has refused to allow the use of its air base to be used by the United States of America. The Metropolitan Police has confirmed 2 men are in hospital after being stabbed, and a man has been arrested. 45-year-old British national born in Somalia is in custody after being discharged from hospital. He was arrested after being confronted by officials following the stabbing of 2 Jewish men in the Golders Green area of North London yesterday. Specialist officers from counter-terrorism police are leading the investigation and working with the Metropolitan Police to establish the full circumstances. The incident has been condemned by the Prime Minister, while Israel government said it shows anti-Semitism is out of control in the United Kingdom. And that ends the news from Kunamza studio at Ogidi FM. United Kingdom, I am Falola Oluwasegun.
You're welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat studio at Ogidi FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. The United States is pushing for other countries to form an international coalition to restore freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, according to a State Department cable, as oil prices surged to their highest in more than 4 years on fears of long-term disruptions to global fuel supplies. 2 months into the war that started with U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran, the Vital Sea Channel remains closed, choking off 20% of the world's supplies of oil and gas that has sent global energy prices surging and heightened concerns about the risk of an economic downturn. Efforts to resolve the conflict have hit an impasse, which the United States is trying to unlock with a naval blockade of Iran's oil exports, the country's economic lifeline. With talks stalled, U.S. President Donald Trump is slated to receive a briefing on Thursday on plans for a series of fresh military strikes on Iran in hopes it will return to negotiations, according to reports. Iran has pledged to continue disrupting traffic through the straits as long as the threat continues. The U.S. Justice Department said it has charged the governor of Mexico's Sinaloa state, Ruben Rocha, and other officials for their alleged involvement with the Sinaloa cartel in a significant escalation of U.S. anti-cartel action that is likely to increase tensions between the United States and Mexico. The Justice Department said Rocha and others allegedly conspired with leaders of the Sinaloa cartel to import massive quantities of narcotics into the United States in in exchange for political support and bribes. Rocha's indictment poses a problem for President Claudia Sheinbaum, particularly because they are both from the same ruling Morena party. Rocha is also an ally of Sheinbaum's predecessor and mentor, former President Andres Lopez Obrador. Rocha denied the charges and said they were an attack against Mexico's governing political movement. In a statement, Mexico's foreign ministry said it had received several extradition requests for Mexican individuals a day earlier, but that they lack sufficient evidence. Mexico's Attorney General's office said it was beginning an investigation to determine whether there was sufficient evidence to merit arrest warrants in Mexico in accordance with Mexican law. And that ends the news from Kule Hamzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya.
And now in the exciting world of sport, Manchester United midfielder Kobe Mainoo has signed a new contract with the club until 2031, bringing an end to months of uncertainty over his future. The 21-year-old England international had agreed his previous deal shortly before breaking into the first team in 2023, and it was due to expire in 2027. Although there was an option to extend it by a further year. The Stockport-born academy product was marginalized under former United boss Ruben Amorim, which prompted him to push for a loan move to Italian side Napoli during the January transfer window. But United rejected that request, making clear to Mainoo that the club valued him and wanted him to stay and fight for his place. The Manchester United management in a club statement said they are delighted that Kobe has extended his stay with them and have full confidence that he will develop into one of the best players in the world, ready to play a pivotal role in the Manchester team and a challenging for the biggest honors. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. Federal government calls for stronger media literacy to combat misinformation. Oyo government affirms strengthen collaboration on road maintenance. United Kingdom investigates attacks on Jewish targets for possible links to Iran. United States seek international help to reopen Strait of Hormuz as crude prices surge. Kobe Mainoo signs a new Manchester United deal until 2031. And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station at Gidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan. I am Falola Yusuf. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, has called for continuous collaboration.
We bring you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
Southwest Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo 88.7 FM, the people's voice. Agidigbo 88.7 FM.